Well, welcome. I'm the last speaker, I think, so I will make it quick. Okay. Well, I'm from CPQ Factory, and we're hosting the first Verge3D seminar. Very nice you choose us for that. And we are a Dutch corporation, and don't misunderstand, we're not a corporation. So we are a bunch of guys, specialists, working together. And we all have our own companies, and all our freelancers work together in a corporation. We started in 2018, so we're a very young company. And we have, at the moment, we have 6 members. And my name is Martin Hammersma, a real Dutch name. And what we do? We're helping companies to implement CPQ software. And what do we do then? We make 3D models. We help companies move from 3D CAD to graphics for web, because they're not easy to go from 3D CAD to web. You have to do something so you can run it on a website. We do some CPQ advice, so we help companies selecting the right software, CPQ software. Front-end design, that's not my part, but we have some designers here who can help them to make those CPQ implementations very sexy on the web. Of course, the multi-language support, especially in Europe, we have lots of different languages, and we can help companies to move from Holland to Germany or to France or to other countries in Europe. So you need also multi-language support, and for that you need SEO optimization for your and of course the UX and user experience and user interface. And I think those are the main categories where we can help companies in going for CPQ solutions. Okay. Yeah, what's the link with Verge3D? Well, it was 23 November 2017. I know exactly where I was at that time, because I got a message from Blender Nation. And what's on Blender Nation? It was a pop-up. You know Blender Nation? Yes? Oh, of course. Oh, okay. Okay. So you know you have the pop-ups on the right corner, and there was something like first release of Verge3D, and I was wondering, what is Verge3D? So I was clicking on that subject, and the explanation there, it was something. I said, oh, this is what I'm really looking for a long way already. And yeah, I just implement, because you can download it and you can use it, and was fully functional already in the test environment. And what I did in a weekend is I made this really beautiful beanbag. I think everybody's seen that beanbag. It was only a weekend, and I'm not a programmer, but I could make a fully functioning product configurator. Sorry, Hans. It's not a product configurator. It's only the tip of the iceberg. I know, but it was. I was really, as a non-programmer, I could make something like this, and I use only Blender files and some puzzles. Well, I'm not a programmer, but I know how to puzzle. And I was really an eye-opener for me, and not only for me. I've spoke to several persons already, and they all said to me, well, the first time we saw Verge3D, it was an eye-opener for us, because as a non-programmer we could go very far in making a configuratable visual product on the web. and Juri was really pleased with my weekend work. I said, I will put your demo, I put it on the gallery. Oh, okay, if you want to put it on the gallery, yeah. And it's still there. And even I'm next to Simone, I think. I think that's your, yeah. So I'm very proud. I'm next to your creation, yeah. And it's still there. And we're now 1.5 years further. And I see all those beautiful products in the gallery, but I don't see any parametric products. And that's what I really need, because all those CPQ solutions can make variations. They can make products not 100, 200, 300, but 150.6 or so. I want to combine those visual models to the output of the CPQ software. And I think I'm the only one who wants that, because I don't find in the forum, I don't see anyone is busy with variations on models. So I'm practicing, and I did some okay, well, why parametric? Of course, that's the first question. Okay, what you see is what you get. And when you do e-commerce, you want to have the order right away. So the customer needs to see exactly what he's going to order. It's always custom made. And in Holland, we do a lot of e-commerce. But if you look at main e-commerce web shops, I think in some cases 50% of the ordered stuff, they send it back. And when you custom made a product in Holland, it's custom made. You cannot send it back anymore. So it's an ideal product for e-commerce. Because yeah, if you made something custom made, you cannot sell it to another person. So it's by law, it's arranged that if you make it custom made, you cannot send it back. So it's a real great solution for an e-commerce website. And then, of course, in Holland we have a lot of companies working in the configure to order or the assemble to order area. So in the marketing or in the sales, it would be very nice to have a solution like this. Well, what I told you already, CPQ software can manage parametric rules. So we have to follow that. And 3D CAD is already parametric. So the supplier knows already how to use parametric models. It has already the rules, has already the knowledge of how you can parametric your 3D models. But they cannot put it to the web. What kind of products? Well, it just hydraulic cylinders are always in length, always custom made. Sheet metal constructions, well, fencing, yeah, of course, window frames or door frames, packaging, well, you name it. There are a lot of manufacturing companies who make custom products, custom made products, and I think you know something. You know also some companies in your area who also make custom-made products. Well, what I do in most time, I use CAD as a basis. There's an advantage. I think using CAD files, it's got dimensions, and you can make it exactly. I think in Blender sometimes I'm not that keen in putting dimensions on a Blender model, but in CAD it's necessary to put dimension on that model, so it's exact. In this case I use Solid Edge, and you can do some preparation already in CAD to make a parametric model you can use for the web. So I cut it in pieces. In this case, it's a sheet metal part, and I cut it in, well, you can count it, I think it's 21 pieces. So make a smart model, yeah, make it not smart, and then go to the web. I have to make it smart again, and for that I use the puzzles of Verge3D. Okay, the dimensions. Remember your dimensions. They're very important to know where you make the cuts and what's the size of your product, because you need those dimensions when you're going to use puzzles. I'm first going to the Blender. I have it on my computer, and here you see I have implemented the model in Blender, and there's something nice about working in Blender. You can use collections now in 2.8, and what I reckon, you can put a part into more collections. So if you used to use CAD, you only have one part into one assembly, but in Blender you can put a part in more collections, in more assemblies. Does anybody, you know that all, that you can put more, yeah? Okay, for the people who don't, it's a very, let's make a new collection. I hope everybody can see that. Did I make, collection 12? And the technique for that is, okay, you can go from one object to another collection, but if you use Control, it will make a link, and then it's still there in one collection, and the part is in the other collection, and we really need that for Verge. Well, you can do it also in lists in Verge, but if you can do it as a drawer, a draftsman, you always want to do that in the CAD system. And okay, so that's the only technique you have to know. You have to use collections. So all the collection you see here, and that's nice. You call it in groups in Verge3D, but I think that's because of 2.97, because they were called groups at that time. Okay, back to the Blender. Well, in this case I use a VRML CAD export. It's very easy and it's clean. If you want to go for advanced assemblies, I think you need a converter, a better converter. Okino, Nugraph, 64 Canadian software, really great to use. Okay, it's a tip. So I use that when I go for not one part, but for huge assemblies. And you can go from any CAD system to another CAD system or another graphical system. That's Okino. From and the product is called Nugraph 64, I think. Nobody knows it? Okay. Well, it's a tip from my colleague. I think IJsbrand, I don't know if he's here, but yes, he's there at the back, and it was a very, very nice tip. It's a really great conversion tool. It's not free, it's not open source, but that's really a professor in going from one geometry, CAD geometry to another. So use that one. What in Blender? Yeah, okay, we have some Boolean operations, but I use that here for splitting up the part in Blender. But in many cases I can use also CAD to split the part there, and then when I go to Blender, the part is already split, so you don't have to do anything in Blender anymore. But if you want to split it in Blender, you can use the Boolean modifier, and after that I explode it, and you have a split part. So separate objects, and the collection and groups I explained to you already. Then we go to Verge3D. Well, it's very important that you remember your dimensions of your products and your cuts. And we're going to move and scale collections. Well, okay. Here's the same product, and I made a parametric with some very simple puzzles. You know, I'm not a programmer, so we have a programmer that's called Rule, and he's always saying, well, you're making too much puzzles. It could be much more smaller. Okay, well, but I can handle. And what I do now is in blue you can see the different collections, and the gray part is the part that is scaling, and I have a parametric models, and now you can see which collections are working to go. Okay. Of course, this is not connection with CPQ, but for CPQ it's very easy to use this kind of parametric tools. Okay. Okay. Limitations. Well, the way I made this solution, I cannot use textures, I think, because there's a line. So you need solid colors. If you want to use textures, maybe someone knows does know some techniques to use textures for that. Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Holes and patterns. You can make holes and patterns in modifiers, and you can do something in Blender. But when you go to Verge, it will explode, and it's not parametric anymore. So my question was, can we add some Boolean functionality into Verge so we can have holes we can manipulate with puzzles in Verge? Okay. So yeah, the first one is I get a solution for that, I reckon, already from Michael. Okay, we have another example that's made by my colleagues, Paul and Rule. I hope it's working. Oh, quick to the 100%, but oh, okay, there it is. And well, you have some animation in here, and yeah, you can put the width and the length, and it goes in both directions, I think. Okay, so we have a parametric model in Verge. Yeah, seen enough? Oh yes, let's put it in the gallery. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Well, another discussion. I'm searching for users who also want to have parametric technologies and use parametric technologies also. So I asked Yuri, maybe in the forum of Verge3D, we can have a subject where we can discuss parametric techniques, or we can discuss a wish list, or what also you discussed this weekend was we can have specialized CPQ connection puzzles. Sorry, Hans, it's a puzzle again, but it's to combine Verge with certain CPQ solutions. Yeah. Okay. Thanks. Slicing, yeah. 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 I think you want to see the Blender or the Verge part, or okay. Yeah. Let's start with the Blender part. What you saw in CAD, I'm splitting up one solid object, and I split it up in several 21 parts. And the 21 parts I combined in left. Well, put it. This is the. Oh, in left, in right, back, front, top, mid. So I'm making those parts, combine it together into sub-assemblies, they call it. And what I can do in that's clear to you. Okay. Shall we go to the Verge part then? Okay. Here in Verge you can get objects, and you can get groups, collections. They're exactly the same. And what I tried to explain in the blue and the red color is if I click on a certain part, which collections are working. So now I'm using the collection top and bottom. They stay the same. I move those parts from each other, and the gray part, that's the center part, I scale. But if I want to go the other way, if I want to go to the X direction, I have to scale other collections. So these collections, you see, blue and red, where blue is moving, red is moving, and the gray one is now scaling. And the other way around, going to the front, then you see again in blue, red and gray, you see other collections to handle the X direction. And the puzzles, well, they're very simple. This is my well, I think you cannot see what's standing there, but it's very simple logic. So maybe afterwards you can see how I built this. Yeah. So this is for X, this is for I, and this is for Z. Yeah. Answer to your question. Okay. Okay. Oh, you want to put it to Verge? Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Okay, you're getting enthusiastic already. Okay, that's great. That's great. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Okay. Simone. Part. Yeah. 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 Well, this is only to demonstrate how the collections or the groups are changing. When I click on something, I use other collections, and now it's really interesting that one part can be in more collections because they're slicing each other, the collections. Yeah? The other example, what my colleagues made, was exactly the same technique, but there was a user interface there. Yeah, okay. I'm not very good in user interfaces. Yeah, so the other, I can go to that. I think it's still there. Well, you saw the one I was playing with. There was a user interface there, and okay, that's the one that also CPQ is using to. Yeah, I'm not the one who making. Normally, I'm not the one who making user interface.